Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Narsgel and I welcome you to this HoI4 modding tutorial for total beginners. Today we will take a look on localization, which is basically the last modding video of this first part. So yeah, localization, the basic localization is pretty easy, so let's take a look on it. Let's go! Alrighty, so here we are playing as our Sweden. As you can see, we have those focuses, we have also some of our decisions, also national spirits, which are added through... which are not currently added, but we'll fix it. And we also have those events. They are not, however, localized yet. For that, we will go to our mod folder, go to our modding tutorial folder, localization, and open this file. Everything what concerns localization will be stored here. Now we will also open our national focus file, our decision file, decision categories file, national spirit file, and events file. And we will learn how to localize all of these things. As I said, it's pretty simple, so let's start with the focuses. For that we will copy the ID. We will always use the ID of focuses or national spirits when we are doing localization. So let's copy the ID, let's put it here under focuses twice. And for the name of the focus, which is this, we will just do this and then write industrial build up. So it's always the ID, colon, 0, and then you write your localized name here into the quotation marks. Now if we type reload focus into our console, you will see that the national focus is now localized. When we take a look, however, it still doesn't have any description. You can see that the description is the ID _DESC. So we will just add DESC here and do the exact same thing, and let's write this is the description of focus, for example. And now when we take a look, you will see that the description now shows correctly. Now I will do the rest of them. I do it the way that I simply copy the ID twice, like so, and this is nothing. Then I do this, copy it here, then do _description and copy it like this, then save it. If we reload the focus now, you will see that all of this is empty because this is also empty, so we have to fill it. Like so. Save it. I will now show you another way how to reload the focus. Because we are using the debug mode, if we simply do a change in our focus file and save it, it will reload the focus tree, and you can see that all of this is now localized. However, the descriptions are empty because they are not filled here. But like, if you don't want to fill the descriptions, you don't have to. Just be careful that everything in the localization file needs to follow this exact formula. It needs to be closed. For example, if I would remove all of this ending from this description of the military factories focus, and reload the focus, you will see that these 3 focuses are still localized, but these 2 aren't, together with the description of this focus. That's because this isn't properly closed. As you can see, this is working, this is working, this is also working, but this description and everything that's under it is not working. So we have to basically close this, save it, reload the focus, and it works properly again. Well, I think that's clear. Now let's move on to the ideas. So we made our exemplary idea here, which does nothing. So let's use this idea. And again, this is the idea of the national spirit. So we will just copy it, paste it here, do the exact same thing. And let's call it, for example, Sweden, the best country national spirit. Also, let's edit. Let's make it that this first focus adds that national spirit. I showed you how to add the national spirits in the national spirit video. And when we save this and take a look, you will see that that national spirit, Sweden the best country, is now localized. So that's basically all of what you need to know about localizing national spirits. Now let's move on to the decisions. When we take a look, we need to localize 2 things here: the decision category and also the individual decisions. So let's go to the decision category. Again, this is the ID of the decision category. Let's put it here. Let's do the exact same thing. Save it, which refreshes it. You will see that the decision category is now localized. Let's add some description. Again, when we save it and refresh it, you will see that the description now shows. And now let's localize the individual decisions, which are these ones. Right. So let's do you, and let's do you. Again, the exact same thing. First one is just these 2 dots, 0 and quotation marks, and these are the description ones. Let's do for example this, and you will see it's now localized. Again, super simple. And now let's do events. For that, we need to localize 4 things in the events, or well, at least 3, depends on how many options you have. For that, in our localization file, I have prepared this thingy here, which helps a ton. You can see that again, it's the ID of that event, or the namespace, which is actually wrong here, so we have to change it because our namespace is AFK Sweden and here is UMC AFK, so we will change all of this to AFK Sweden. And now if we want to localize our event start from .10, so if we want to localize this event, which currently does nothing, when we take a look, so we need to localize the title, the description, and the name of the option. As you can see, the title is namespace .10, which is number, and .t. Description is AFK Sweden, which is again the name tag, .10, which is the same number, and .t. You could also do a description here. You could also do like something like this and it would work. but it's just much simpler if you follow the exact same like style with namespace, number and .d. And well, if we take a look on our localization file, we have also .t here, .d and .a. We don't need .b and .c for this event, so let's just do this. We also need to change the numbers because our event we are currently localizing is .10. So we will do .10. We will write here. This is the title. For example, description, and this is the option. So let's do it like this. And now when we trigger that event, you will see that we have the title of the event, the title of the event, which is this, description, and option, which is this. And what other options do we have than to select this option? Let's do one more event, which is .20. This is exactly the same thing, only difference is that we have two options. So we will once again copy all of this. This doesn't have to be here, that's just like my notes. I usually write what this event is about. For example, this event, if I remember correctly, is for Germany. So I would normally write here something like this. Now let's just change the numbers and let's copy all of this. Let's do, this is option A, this is option B. Let's trigger that event and you can see that again we have title, description and two options. When we take a look now onto our focus tree, you will see that this event which gives, this focus that gives this event to Germany and Hungary now currently is localized. You know, it doesn't show no more, just gets event some random numbers non-localized. It now shows the correct title of that event. And well, that's basically all of it. I think you get the idea. You always use the ID, and for description you use _DESC, and you always have to put these 4 things here, or 3. Now let's talk about more advanced things. We will once again do localization for the decisions for the category. So as you can see, we have some symbols here. This symbol ends the row, and if you put it twice, it puts an empty row. Just watch. Okay, we have, this is description. Let's put, this is the second row of description. When we check it again, we have them like this. If we put this symbol behind here, save it, you will see that it now ends that row and put the second row onto the second row. We also have empty space here, that's why it's like this, so we have to remove this. Again, check it, now it's nicely aligned. And if we put this here again, you will see that it now puts an empty row. You can also do it like infinite times and have a lot of free space here. This symbol colors everything that's written in it. So if we copy this, put it here, let's just remove all of this and copy it here, save it, you will see that currently we have empty space. That's because here nothing is written right now. But let's write this is yellow. Now if we once again refresh the decisions, you will see that this is yellow. We also can just extract the first part and put it right in front of the yellow. That way yellow will also only be yellow. You can also do different colors. If we take a look on Hearts of Iron 4 modding wiki into the localization, you will see that there are coloring characters and you can choose any color you want. For example, B is blue, I don't know, O is orange. Yeah, you get the idea. Now let's move on to like even more advanced things. For that we will once again use Hearts of Iron 4 wiki, because you can also use some functions. Those functions take some information from the game and put it into your localization. For example, you can see we can get date, we can get month, year, maybe name of that country, name of their faction, how many manpower we have. Let me show you. First we will do, once again in our decision category, we will do this is the date, and we will copy all of this, even with these brackets, and we will put it here into our localization. Now if we refresh it, you will see that this is the date and it gives us the date. If we now run the game, you will see that the date changes. Pretty nice, right? We can also get, for example, our manpower. We will copy all of this. Just take a note that here, before that like function, there is actually the tag for which country you want this information to get from. So we will do, this is our manpower, and we will put root because we are root. We could also put Sweden there, but it's more convenient to put root there. Again, when we refresh this, you will see that our manpower is 27,000. We could also, for example, get our flag and put it in front of our manpower. For that, again, we will just copy this function and put root because we are root and refresh it, and you will see this now shows our small flag. And you can continue with all of these. And one last note for the end, you can also do scripted localizations. That's what I use, for example, well, I use it a lot, but for example here in my UMC Germany mod, where it shows basically the attitude towards your Führer. So you have confident here, distrustful, and it also adds like some other parts of the description. For example, if I were to declare war on the Netherlands, you will see that currently the description ends with composition of the UGF faction. But if I were to declare war, you will see that this description now has this part. That's because this part only shows when you are at war, or if the UGF relations are at least -50 or less than -50. And these numbers, these -50 or 10, are variables, by the way. Now you can find the scripted localization in common and scripted localization. But before you can learn how to do it, you should learn how to do scripted effects and scripted triggers. When we just take a look, you will see that Where is it? The scripted localization, right here. Actually, I will just quickly show you. You have some like scripted localization, which is this. You have defined text, which just tells you that this whole thing is one scripted localization. Then you have a name of that scripted localization. This is basically the ID. You will show it later. You will use it later. I will show you. So this is the ID basically of that scripted localization, and then you have some text and you have localization key. This localization key is then localized here in your localization file. As you can see, we have gr, tfr, coup, explanation, which is this. And all of this text is then noted here. And in the original description of this category, I'm only using, when we scroll all the way to the end, I am only using this part. When you copy it and put it, for example, here, you will see that this thing here is basically the exactly same thing as these functions that are on the wiki. You have your tag, which is root, and you also have some function. Just for us, this function is our scripted function that is here. So you put the name into your description where you want to have it. And because this text, this localization text only has some trigger, this will show only when this trigger is satisfied. So as you can see, we either have to have war or have -50 variable, which is the relation with Führer. I think that's enough explanation for at least the beginning of the scripted localization. I can make another video for it if you want me to, and I can also put some predefined scripted localization to our modding file or the modding starter pack. And that will be all for today. Localization is real easy. It's probably the most easiest thing out of modding. So, it's just that scripted localization that's a bit more advanced, but about that maybe in the next videos. Well, if you have any questions, write a comment below. I will try to answer them, or even better, contact me or UMC Discord. All links will be in the description or in the pinned comment. See ya!